Yeah. So, hi everyone. I'm Kamalpreet, the Global ICT Chair for Marketing and a core member of the advisory committee. So, I'm so glad that you could join the session on the topic that impacts, many women's life, the power of menopause, the power of pause, menopause. So, whether you are approaching menopause in the middle of it or supporting someone who is, so I hope this discussion will offer, insights and empowerment. So I'm honored to welcome Sharmila Vethlingam, the ambassador of Menopause Exports Group Limited, a licensed menopause champion, and of course an ICG chair for women's health. So, in recognition of Menopause Day, I would like to share this space with Sharmila and, of course, with all of you to empower women through advocacy and, and education on menopause. So as I said, our session will go for 40 minutes, and then last 10 minutes we'll keep for any questions and answers or like for interactive discussion. So if you have any of you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to share them through the discussion portion wherever you find any designated space or wherever Sharmila allows you to. So basically I would say it's a very healthy topic we need to discuss, for which people needed to be aware of. Like, it is a natural stage in every woman's life, but it often comes with physical challenges, mental challenges, and very emotional challenges. So today we'll be exploring how this pause can also be seen as an opportunity to reconnect with ourselves, our health, or our well-being. Over to you, Sharmila ji.
Yeah, hello. Hello, all. Thank you for coming here. It's a really a pleasure for me to share my knowledge and expertise on this subject, which is very close to my heart. And thank you for to IGC for giving me this wonderful opportunity to spread the purpose of my life across globe, across borders. It is really a wonderful opportunity, and I look forward that there are a lot of takeaways for you and keep it very I will be taking a 30-minute session in the beginning, just explaining about everything. When we can take this question and answer at the end of the session, and feel free to any kind of questions, I'm here to help you out. Yeah, let's jump into the session then. We all know menopause. What is menopause? Just like, how do we go through puberty, pregnancy? The next milestone in a woman's life is menopause, right? So this is very unavoidable. At least we can avoid pregnancy, but this phase is supposed to be a very milestone that which is being neglected. And I'm really lovely to see you all here taking that initiative to take in charge of your midlife health. Okay, because this is one part of the health which has been completely neglected in the past, and but now the menopause is getting a lot of momentum in the society because it deserves all the attention it deserves. So why let us understand the complete life cycle in small in a very common language. I love to keep things very simple. See how our body is preparing for the puberty. We call menopause nothing but a reversal of puberty. So what happens in puberty? Our body prepares for about 15 years for all the hormones to be in the optimal level. Then we are ready for reproduction. So just like that, once the reproduction is done for about 20 years or 30 years, like from 15 to 25 to 35, what happens is that this the we run out of eggs because we don't need more than that, right? Starting from 15 years, slowly every month our eggs is being released. Even though we are born with millions of eggs, half of them get destroyed in the womb itself, in the ovary itself. So what happens is that as we reach from 15 to 25 to 35, around 35, we are almost left with very few eggs. So that is when your menopausal transition starts. Understand the word transition, because menopause everyone understands with one line. It is the stopping of the period. It doesn't happen overnight. It is not just a closing of a tap, right? So just like how our body prepared for puberty over the year, the menopause is also a transition. If our body prepares for few years before your periods ends. Okay, even though we call many times, it is such a misconception. Menopause means just they all think that it has happened. No, if someone asks me, I say I'm in menopause. It doesn't mean that my periods have stopped. It is not going by the literal definition of a menopause. Okay. So what happens is that let us understand the transition of menopause now. So now we all know why menopause happens. Menopause happens because you run out of eggs, and the hormones related to the eggs becomes very less, and that is called a transition period, and that is the menopause transition. Okay. So just a gist of the thing. Now let's get into the menopause transition, which describes about the different stages of menopause. Okay, how it happens eventually. The first stage that I explained, when you attain puberty, and then when everything is going normal, your cycles are going normal. This stage is called pre-menopause. Okay, and the next stage that follows, which is in about mid 30s or early 40s, where you see some fluctuations in your cycles, in your periods. That is when your ovaries start, your manufacturing unit becoming slowed down, and ovaries start producing less eggs, and the hormones related to it also fluctuates, right? So that phase is nothing but called perimenopause. If you see here, the perimenopause. Usually this perimenopause can be around 2 to 5 years, it can last. Okay. So starting from a normal cycle to a irregular cycle, then comes a period where you completely stop your periods for about 2 months, and then you start to feel period free for about 12 months. That is a very key word here. It has to be a consecutive period free for 12 months. That anniversary of not having periods for consecutive 12 months is when is that one day we celebrate menopause. That's it. Post which it's post menopause. Okay. So the stages can be pre, peri, menopause, and post menopause. But the menopause is just that one day that you're celebrating your anniversary of not having periods. Okay. From the last time, that is the reference point. So here, and now we have discussed about peri-menopause. The next comes post-menopause. From the very next day of menopause till your life ends, you are in post-menopause. So that just means it can be 20 years, it can be 30 years. Suppose if you attain puberty and the menopause stops, what happens? You still get to live till 30, 70 or 80. So imagine the number of lives you have put in your post-menopause, right? It could be 20 years or 30 years or 40 years. So understand the whole transition of menopause itself. Like a woman, especially, we have to give more emphasis from the perimenopause because we don't want to bother about when everything is normal. So we are, discounting the fact about the premenopause. That is a normal stage. Okay, we start to focus more on the perimenopause and the postmenopause in general because the menopause is just one day. We don't want to bother about it. So what happens in these two stages, perimenopause and postmenopause, can be almost about 30 to 40 years in a woman's life. So which sums up to about one third of her life in menopause, right? Almost in the transition, in the fluctuating hormones, because of which there are a lot of symptoms she's presented. Okay, so let's talk more about. So that is why there is more emphasis on menopause in these in these years. So last year, if you ask me, I don't think that because of the life expectancy too, we have a long uh, years to put up with along with the scientific advancement and development, we live longer enough. So it is very important for us to understand what we are going through and how to maintain the same quality of life even after your menopause, right? Because we still got to live. And what happens after your menopause is, see, in perimenopause fluctuating, mm, it, it can it will come to a standstill in your menopause. That is when your period stops and you are run out of the reproductive hormone, that is major one, that is estrogen. When you are run out of your estrogen, just imagine this analogy. When you're in puberty, your estrogen is at the top level. and your skin glows, your hair glows, you are with your high energy level, and your metabolism is good. You are good to do anything at any time. You are in your good form, right? Everything changes when you attain your periods, when you are in that height of reproductive age. But the reverse happens when you attain menopause. That's why I'm giving the analogy. Just understand, because you're running out of the complete female reproductive hormone, that is estrogen. The fluctuation comes to a standstill. I wish I could show you a graph of that, but that is in the other presentation. So in this presentation, the perimenopause, the fluctuating period, can happen anytime, minimum of 3 to 5 years to a maximum of 10 years. Every menopause journey depends on individual's experience. So we cannot say that a woman will only go through the perimenopause for 5 years or 6 years. It can last minimum of 2 years to about 10 years as well. That's what it says. So we have, and the post, we have seen everything here, whatever I told you. I hope this is clear. So, but it, then comes, at what age menopause happens, right? That is the question. And when we are discussing about this, at what age the menopause happens? That means at what age you are going to stop your periods. This is very retrospective. The Based on the culture, based on the ethnicity, for Western population, it is usually 51 years. But for the Indian population, the menopause, the period stops at the age 46.5. So that gives us, almost 5 years difference with the compared to the rest of the world. And that tells that we have to be even more careful about, handling our life post our menopause, right? So that is for Indian average age of menopause is 46.5. So if you consider that you might be in perimenopause 2 years before, that could be 44 years, and you can be in the perimenopause the 5 years before the menopause. That could be in 41 years. But any time, anything,
Hi,
if you
Shankar.
are in early,
You
yeah.
were breaking a bit. We lost you for
Oh,
a
is
bit.
it? Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know the connection was stable, and I am just in the same.
Okay, no worries. It's fine now.
Yeah.
Maybe if in case we occurred any other problem, I'll let you know, and
Oh, yeah, sure.
you can switch off your video if that helps. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That'll be
Yeah.
lovely. Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So right now it is fine. I'll let you know.
okay. No, but we are switching off the video sometimes helps, right?
It
Yeah.
does help, but it
Yeah.
okay.
No,
What about you?
let's see how it goes off
Okay.
now.
All
Yeah. So the age at which the menopause happens for an Indian population is average age is 46.5, and this is a normal menopause. If the menopause happens between 40 to 45, then you are in a early menopause. What if it happens much earlier, like before 40, then you fall under the category of a premature menopause, in which case you have to give more attention because you're going to live without the reproductive hormone estrogen for a very longer time. So you have to give more more importance and more attention to your health if you're falling into the premature menopause, and that is your menopause happening prior to your age of 40. Okay. Yeah, I hope this is clear. Now that we have understood about the different stages of menopause in the menopause transition, which is nothing but perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. I'm leaving the normal one. Okay. And then we also understood the age at which the menopause happens is 46.5. And also we have seen three different types of stages of menopause. That is normal menopause, which happens between 45 to 50 for Indian population, and the menopause that happens between 40 to 45 is early menopause. The menopause that happens before 40 years of age is premature menopause. So just a recap. Now we understand what are the hormones that play an important role in the menopause. These are the reproductive hormones that we all know for sure about. Testosterone to some extent, luteinizing hormone, and follicle stimulating hormone. I don't want to get into the medical terminologies more to just keep it simple. Yeah. So during this perimenopause, when I explained you that you can go through it 2 to 5 years or a maximum of 10 years before menopause, just because of the fluctuation of the estrogen, the reproductive hormone, you might definitely, because something is going wrong in our body, and it will produce some symptoms, right? When whatever happens, it will come up as a symptoms. So the symptoms can be, you can be experiencing, experiencing very good hot flushes, which is nothing but feeling hot all of a sudden from your hair, from your neck. And then because of that, you sweats. And one of the other major symptoms could be brain fog. The other day I forgot to close my son's water bottle and it leaked the whole bag. So many things that women, all of a sudden, she tends to forget names of the people, name of the movies, especially the recent ones. Okay, these are the major symptoms. That is hot flushes, brain fog, we just different, we just discussed a fogginess in the brain that you feel that but you're not able to get it. You feel that you remember it, but still you are hopeless. And the next one is anxiety. Very we feel very anxious for no reasons at all. And depression, vaginal atrophy. Vaginal atrophy is nothing but the change in the vagina. The shape happens due to the loss of estrogen again, and the area around vagina and inside vagina, there is a lot of change happening in that. And that all with all these changes and with all these bodily symptoms going through, you definitely will feel loss of libido. Is it clear? So these are the some of the symptoms I'm discussing here. I can't hear. Hello? Um,
Hello.
yeah, is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is
okay.
clear.
So these are the some of the symptoms, which is very minimal here because I can't list out all the symptoms, but the symptoms minimum has been approved by the medical industry research center. So these are just a glimpse of the symptoms that I'm giving you. Why we experience symptoms is because female hormone receptors in every cell of our body. It is from head to toe. So some can experience hair thinning, some can experience nail brittles, some can experience mouth sore, some can experience intestinal, sorry, what is that? Stomach issues. Some can have joint pains. Of symptoms. It is not to scare you. It is said that 80% of women do go through at least, okay, but not everybody goes through everything. So one thing you have to keep in mind, not to get scared. This is just for your education. That if these things occurs, it could be that you are in perimenopause. Because of the fluctuation, you experience these kind of symptoms, right? Somebody is not mute. Can you please tell them? Okay.
I
What
think
happened?
Deepak, uh, something like that.
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
Deepak,
Okay.
please put yourself
Mhm.
on mute. Yeah, thank you.
So these are the symptoms that you experience, especially because of the fluctuation in the hormone levels in your perimenopause, which can happen anytime, starting from 40. That is the normal menopause scenario. We are considering here a woman health under normal, not with some other any other medical conditions. We are just because there are different case scenarios here for the purpose of this complete health under normal conditions. Okay, the age and the symptoms, everything is all related to that. It's all limited to that. Now that we have spoken about some of the symptoms, how many percentage of about 60 to 40% of the women, the data and the fact shows that the symptoms can be severe. It can be from mild to severe, to such an extent that they are suggested antidepressant, thinking that they can't function even normal day-to-day life. So this all happens when we miss out the symptoms in the initial stage. Everything has to come from mild to severe, right? It does not go all of a sudden to a higher degree, right? So when the symptoms, by knowing this through this session, educate yourself what are the symptoms you can look out for during the perimenopause. It can help you to identify when it pops up very you can identify and fix it and work towards it. That is one of the takeaways and the importance of this session, So till you leave it to the severity, for some of the psychological symptoms, it can become chronic depressions, and it can get into, affect their life. Not only it can affect their relationships with their family and friends, and eventually workplace, and the repercussions are multiple. So when the symptoms are presenting in the milder form, you please understand what it is, and take the necessary measures, which we'll be talking about it in the later session. Okay. So here we are talking. So what can you do about it? It is, and one more good news is that it is a natural phase, right? So there are a lot of management options available for menopause. So nothing to fret about. Just that you have to keep yourself informed about all the options available, so that you are empowered to take the right decisions when it comes to managing a menopause and a better quality of life post menopause, right? Do you agree with me? So let's see what are the different management options available. Like you see here, if you're going to go by the natural management options available, it is by working on your lifestyle. Okay, reducing the weight and loss of body fat, nutrition, and fitness. Okay, these are the three things that is non-medical management available for your menopause. Okay, these I would recommend all these things when your symptoms are milder. Okay, like I'm not getting sleep. Okay, sleeplessness is one of the symptoms as well. So what can I do? I can cut down on my coffee, which is in the evenings. So this is the simplest lifestyle that I can implement, because my symptoms is milder, which is not affecting me to a greater degree. So you can go for this lifestyle, nutrition, and fitness modifications. Okay, in case the the symptoms are from mild to medium. If the symptoms are very severe, what is recommended is the HRT. That is what it says. Find out if HRT is right for you. The HRT is nothing but hormone replacement therapy. Okay, we all know why menopause is happening to us, because of the lack of estrogen. So the very first thing will be but not everyone prefers, and also because of researches that happened in the 2000 by UK, as well as by the WHO US. There is a lot of controversies going on with HRT and breast cancers, and that is why most of the people refrain from taking HRT. But there is a lot more in the recent years. Researchers have come up with the saying it is safe, and it has got lots of advanced thing which is natural that is just about HRT. And we can consider, yeah, this is about the HRT. You have to, for taking the HRT, you'll have to go and have a complete proper discussion with your GP. Yeah. And NHS provides HRT, I'm sure. Yeah. Um, there is a simple this thing about, what do you do when you go for a consultation? You what are the preparations that you do? So what can you do about the diagnosis of it? When are you in perimenopause, and how do you know about it? The diagnosis of it is, if you are above the age of 40, there is no blood test that is going to give you whether you are in perimenopause or not. All that will help you is this education, the menopause education. You watch out for the symptoms, especially the irregularities in your periods. Is your periods flow is becoming less, or it is becoming more? Is your frequency of the periods is getting shorter or longer, the duration, okay, and the frequency. The three things, the frequency, flow, and the duration of your cycle tracked over a period of time for about like 3 months or 4 months, and that will give you a good idea along with experiencing other symptoms like a hot flashes, night sweats, or anxiety and sleeplessness. These are the basic symptoms that throw up in the initial period, but then the symptoms can be different with the different individuals as well. Some people will not present any symptoms, and some people will only be, having irregularities in their cycles. So these are the things that you can work it out for diagnosing whether you are perimenopause or no. Okay, why the blood test will not work? Because your hormones are fluctuating every hour, and if you do a blood test, it is going to give you different results, which is going to be beneficial for the people, for even for yourself to understand where are you, right? But if you fall under the age, so the very first thing to consider is the age. If you're above 40, then with all this diagnosis, like what I said, keeping a track of the symptoms for over a period for 3 to 4 months or something, these are the symptoms of the menopause, like night flushes, and these things will help you to understand, to diagnose your own perimenopause. Okay. Yeah. So about what just about the menopause, what age, what are the stages, or what age it happens, and what can you expect out of perimenopause, what are the symptoms. Okay, a little bit gist of it. There's a lot to it because each of the symptoms will have a own session on its own, on its own. Such a long, big topic it is. But let us go slowly. Yeah, understand from the broader spectrum perspective, and then we will go to the main topic. Like when you talk about the vaginal atrophy, that itself is a huge topic. When you talk about the brain fog, that itself that can become a huge topic. Yeah. Because we will be discussing why it happens and what is that you can do to address them, right? Yeah, so we'll cover it up in the later session. Let's go to the steps what you can do when you are facing menopause. A little bit on the psychological aspect of it. Okay, psychology and menopause. Can you see this slide?
Yeah. So
Okay,
we can
yeah.
see
So
what is menopause, not the psychology.
this one, psychology and menopause. You can see this.
No, no, not yet.
Share. Can you see this
I
now?
think there's a bit of delay from your side. Yeah, we can see now. Yes.
And
Yeah,
menopause.
psychology and
Yeah.
menopause.
So you might be asking one question. Come on, menopause is just a physical change. You are telling that it's all about hormone and it's all about the reproductive hormones and the way it functions, ovaries and everything. But what is it to do with the psychology? But can I ask you a question? Do you think menopause is manipulated? No, we all know there's been a lot of proof available that mind and body are intimately connected. And whatever happens in the body, it also affects your brain, right? And also we have the hormones, these estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. We have these hormones even working in our brain as well. Okay, as a neurotransmitters. So what happens is that when you feel a decline in estrogen, okay, it affects your physically, it affects your neurotransmitters, and psychologically it affects it in a different sense. Let's go to the next slides. Yeah. So, what are the psychological symptoms that we experience during menopause? Anxiety, worry. You see that some of them, very few of them, sleep deprivation and issues. Yeah, anxiety tops the list. Why? Because see, for one simple reason, one of the things that happens during menopause could be, for me, it was I ran out of energy at times. Okay, and then what happens? I have a list of things that I was really good at performing. I was really good at delivering. But what happens during this phase when I'm hit with low energy levels? I'm feeling like oh my God, I feel I cannot perform the way I know that I can perform. Even though mentally I know that I can perform from my history, there is a disconnect between the old you and the new you. because this is a transition. You are becoming a new you here. Okay. That is why it's called a transition. You are no longer that old you. Like, it doesn't mean that, you lost the old you. It's just that you have to understand what is happening to your body and how it is impacting you, your lifestyles and your productivity and everything around you. Right. So that takes a while. For me, I get anxious. Oh my God, I have a presentation now. What do I do? I'm not able to remember. Especially, I am hit badly with brain fog. I used to think I'm not able to remember. I have prepared like five varieties of, delivery stories and everything. But when I go to the sessions, completely brain fog, completely wiped out. So I have come with a strategy. With this education, I have learned to accept what I'm going, which is natural. I don't have to be hard on myself. I don't have to, the self identity gets identity crisis happens during this phase sometimes because the old new and the new you. So I have made peace with myself saying that I know what I'm going through and I am going to find out a solution. Instead of focusing on the problem, I'm going to find out a solution what is going to work for me. So I have prepared myself very well thoroughly with the knowledge, with the subject, so that whatever comes to me on that spot, I still have the, the expertise in this, right, and the experience in this. So why would I focus my focus on the problem, like, and get anxious about not being able to remember it because of the brain fog, because of all these things? I have, with this education, it has empowered me to handle my anxiety in a very psychological way. Like, okay, I know what's going on. I'm going to face it up. And these are the alternate strategies that I've come up with. And it helps me. And I'm, I'm much better than menopause, in fact. That is one of the example I'm just saying. So anxiety tops the list. And one of the ways to, I can talk about the solutions and management for anxiety is breath work. I can leave it at the end of the session probably for the user to take away. And the next one is mood swings. Oh, I have seen some of the families, they just say that, oh, my mom gets angry on the drop of a hat. She must be in her 40s or 45 or 50s. And it really worries me a lot because it is not her. I know it is the menopause that is making her do it, because we are not in control of our emotions, which is being sometimes, which is being controlled by our reproductive hormone level. We know that, right? So at times we do break up, we do have the rage, we do end up in mood swings, and that can affect the family members, and they end up taking it so personally, which in turn we feel that, oh my God, I am responsible. Why did I do this? And you take it so personally, that mood swings, right? And that impacts you psychologically again. I screwed up. I made it a big mistake. I should not have done that. But with this education, you know what you're going through. You develop a self compassion. You develop a self compassion for yourself. Okay, these are the things that I'm going through because of some natural transition, right? Okay, next comes depression. Depression happens. Yeah, you know what is depression. If you already have a history of depression, trust me, you can get into a clinical depression, and that is which is very difficult to cope up with. So it is very important when you find out all this symptoms. It is very important that you address these psychological symptoms. All these psychological symptoms, when addressed, it can even reduce your physical symptoms. And NHS has come up with a parallel complementary therapies, like, despite the physical symptoms, they're addressing the physical symptoms with HRT or medicines or whatever it is. They have come up with a solution that complementary as a parallel therapy. You have to address psychological symptoms as well. So if you don't get the conviction or acceptance that, yes, it is menopause, yes, this is nature, yes, this is inevitable, and I'm going to handle it, and I'm going to empower myself with all the education it requires. If you don't have this mindset being developed, it is going to, the psychological symptoms are going to make the physical symptoms even more worse. And I heard women coming and telling me, because I have a community and I keep posting them, they come and tell me saying that, they are very, once they psychologically, because we are more emotionally wired, right? Once we psychologically prepare ourselves. Okay, this is what we are doing. This is what is happening, and this is what I want to do. There's nothing, nothing to take it so personal. And I have to be more self-compassionate, more loving. I have to be more, what you call, aware about what I am. All these things you out to cope up with the psychological symptoms that happens during menopause. And also, you can go for something like complementary therapies like psychotherapy, CBT therapies, EFT therapies. Trust me, I have overcome all of my menopausal symptoms only by, working on my psychological symptoms. How did I do it? I just realized I will be accepting. First step is acceptance. Second step is this: more self-loving and more self-compassionate. Why? Because the body is already tearing apart. Okay. And we cannot change the body, because we never know. It is like we are giving our power to the outside person, be it even your kid or your spouse. Unless and until you know what you're going through, you create the self-compassion. It is going to be very difficult. You expect it from outside, external world. Okay. So first you create the self-compassion for you. If somebody says things like, I used to get teased at home by my kids itself, like, you are going through short-term memory loss, mummy. I said, okay, no problem. Why do I react to a kid? She doesn't understand. But my older kid, I tell her. And it is this awareness. The education is making things so beautiful, that I myself can accept it, and I can develop the self-love, develop the self-compassion. And then I understood I don't have to take external, what do you call, I don't have to any longer accommodate the external things that is going to add to my problem. So this is the time that women had start taking, saying no. This is the time she takes time for herself. I would advise that take a pause for yourself during your menopause. Menopause is a beautiful opportunity for you to, look at who you are, what do you want, what is bothering you, okay, and what can you become. There are a lot of opportunities with what the transition you're going through. You a lot of things. Make use of it. In fact, yeah, despite the physical changes, you can still get the power of your pause. For this, you have to pause. Okay. And that is where you develop your self compassion, self love, self empathy, all these things as a part of dealing with your psychological symptoms. Okay. Yeah. So the very first thing for the psychological symptoms. Okay, sorry, that was my, yeah. How can you cope up with the psychological symptoms? See, we should say reinforce the positive thing, repeat it. If it is one negative, you consciously work on it by replacing it with three positive thoughts. So these are the 3:1 you can use. These are some of the tips that I'm giving you. Outnumber. So make sure that your positive emotions outnumber your negative emotions, right? And fight against our natural negative biases. So there are a lot of things that you can get involved into, and also you can find out your hobby and involve more into the things that you like. It can be as simple as that you love cooking, so involve more yourself into it. The more you channelize your energy, especially dealing with anxiety. Anxiety is nothing but a distorted energy. Okay, it has to be, if it is channelized well on something that you love. So that is why some of the women, they say, I don't have any symptoms in menopause. I don't know. Seriously, I wish that I could study with them their lifestyle and everything. But some of the women literally say they have absolutely no menopausal symptoms in their lifetime. Maybe because I have sensed they are very busy women. They love what they do. They are sorted out mostly. And trust me, if you're little not sorted in the past, all these things are going to come and add up to it. So it's always better that you keep your life, keep on sorting out whatever it requires, be it yourself, be it your career, be it your relationships and everything. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit magnified, because some more things are, or some more road bumps on the way, right? So it's always better to sort it out. And yeah, let's have some fun magic time. This is okay. This is an activity. Okay. Yeah, everything starts with sleep, I would say, because you all know that when you sleep well, your stress hormones, the cortisol, everything is balanced. You give a body for a complete regeneration, right? rejuvenation, complete rejuvenation. And but the basic thing, when the sleep is not being taken care, it's disrupted, it is going to add to the chaos you're going through already. That's it. I would say. Yeah. So what are the benefits of the sleep? You see, without having sleep, what happens? You wake up, you irritated, and then that can cause mood swings, and that can cause brain fog. That can lead to loss of energy. So you understand the consequence, the repercussions of one thing. So our body is not functioning as each part as an individual unit, right? It is all working together. So when the sleep is disrupted, the cortisol, the stress hormones, is going to be released more, and it has more and more repercussions. Like it is going to affect your mood, it is going to affect your energy levels, it is going to affect your insulin resistance, it is going to affect your metabolism. Already menopause is known to affect your metabolism. It is known for anti-inflammatory. There are a lot to it, okay? So don't want to confuse you. So these are the things that are benefits of the sleep, okay? The one thing that you can work blindly for any healthy body is to work on your sleep. I don't have to say much. You have a lot of tips about how to go for a healthy sleep routine, right? Like you have to follow hygiene, you have to follow routine, you have to follow non away from the screens, a lot of other things, and reading, music, a lot of things that you can look up for on the YouTube, I'm sure. So sleep itself improves all these things. It improves the blood flow, boosts your general well-being, improves your brain function. Just what I discussed now, yeah. So this is again about how to sleep better. I'm sure you all know about it, or you can look up for it, since we are running short of time. But do make sure that if you want to fix any of your menopausal problems, symptoms, start with your sleep, fixing your sleep at first, because that is going to fix most of the stuffs. Okay, yeah. And then sex. Oh, sex is something, because it is a reproductive organ. It is a reproductive hormone that is fluctuating, and that is producing lots of symptoms. And the least thing that we could think about is having sex with a partner, right? Exactly. What happened? So that kind of a scenario. Those are nothing but you will feel your psychologically you will get affected. Your partner might feel, what do you call, he might feel isolation, he might feel, why is she not interested, many things can go wrong psychologically. So honestly, you must have a talk with your partner about what is the changes that you're going through, how do you feel, and the intimacy can be developed and not never. And also there are a lot of other changes that happens in the vagina. Okay, it can lose moisture because of estrogen decline. Estrogen, understand, it is a moisturizing element. It is a moisture for the whole body as well. So when it is in the vagina, when you lose the estrogen in the vaginal area, the skin there becomes thin, and then it becomes dry, and you can have a painful intercourse, and sometimes you can even bleed when you have intercourse. And there are other problems can arise, like itching around the vaginal area. You can be prone to a UTI problem. You can be prone for a urine leakage. There are a lot of things that's why I said vaginal atrophy. It is called urogenital symptoms. It is called. It itself is a big session, and I would love to take a session on that. But what I understand this at this moment, that your sex life can be affected because of the changes happening in your vaginal area. Okay, you know and it is so important for you to talk to your partner and your GP if the symptoms are severe. By talking to your partner, psychologically you'll be able to address it. Psychologically you will be getting the support that you deserve, right? Because they can't go and fix up what is going wrong down there, right? There are a lot of solutions available, like a local estrogen application, lubricants, moisture, a lot of products available. So nothing to worry. You can check with your GP on that. Yeah. What else? I think we manage the negatives and positives. We have seen this. Almost, I think I am to the end of the session. Okay, be kind to yourself, just like what I said, and be find humor again. It's always the best time. It's already to feel good about you. So nothing wrong. You don't have to feel bad that you're not the old you. You have to embrace the new you. Life is not about looking back. Life is always about looking forward. You can still think, oh my God, menopause. I got the power. This is a pause for my periods. This is a pause for my what do you call the contraceptive, and this is a pause for all the responsibilities because you are almost done when you are in that age, and you can think in even a positive way that you have a lot of power over this phase as well. Okay, so nothing to mm, break down and take it in a very negative sense. These things are just for your information so that you can use this information for you to be prepared about this transition, and take a well-informed menopause management, um, for your better quality of life in your menopause transition. That's all from my end, folks. Yeah, thank you for attending my session. So if you have any questions,
Thank
I'm open for questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sharmila, for the insights. It was really helpful, although I'm not in that state. But yes, it is better to be cautious before you go into that stage. So I have a couple of questions I had dropped in the chat also.
Yeah,
Maybe before everybody starts, I thought I'll just
please,
ask
please.
the
Here for you all only. So use my time.
Yeah, so the one of the question I had asked is what is the difference between peri and pre-menopause? Although Lata had explained in the chat, so I thought if somebody wants to know about it and haven't read the message, probably you can go ahead and just elaborate on it.
Just consider that menopause transition. Um, Actually, the whole cycle of a reproductive cycle is categorized under four stages. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
first stage
Mm-hmm.
is the pre-stage, which is when we attain the puberty. It
Uh-huh.
starts there,
Uh-huh.
and it all goes till it goes normal. It is pre-menopause. The
Mm-hmm.
moment your cycle starts fluctuating, which is expected in the age of 35 or in the early 40s, that is
Okay.
perimenopause. So you're see, like from a normal puberty, you are
Okay.
going to a fluctuation, and then
Okay.
it goes to a standstill. The standstill is when the menopause and postmenopause.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
So
Yeah,
from
yeah.
normal is pre, and the
From
fluctuation stays.
normal, like right now, it is pre for me.
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
From puberty,
For
puberty.
everyone.
Yeah, for anyone. From
Okay.
puberty, because there is no age for puberty, na? Just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. There is no age for perimenopause also. In the normal age, we have a standard one for puberty is like 15 or 13, like that. So from 13, in the normal scenario, from 13, that is when we think
Okay.
yeah, that is
Okay.
normal. Everything is normal. But when
Okay.
you start feeling the irregularities in your cycle, for some people it's heavy. For me,
Yeah.
it was very less. All of a sudden, just shortened to 1.5 days. So these are the changes. When the
Okay.
changes happens,
Okay.
it is peri. So
Okay.
peri,
Very.
menopause, and post. I have slide. If you give me 2 seconds, I can pull it out in the end. Visual is nice. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
so it's like a pre to peri to menopause to postmenopause.
you.
From
Okay.
normal to fluctuation to coming to a standstill and to a nil at the
Okay.
end.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Thank
it's like this, na? It's like a mountain, imagine it like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I know. We go
yeah.
through a lot of emotions. Even before starting periods, also we go through a lot of emotions. While having periods, also we go through a lot of emotions. I think it's women's
PMS,
body.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
what do you think? Like another question is, what do you think? Some key lifestyle changes, or you know, um, self-care practices that women should adopt to ease this transition, like menopause transition, both
Yeah,
physically
yeah,
or
yeah.
mentally. How they can,
Cope up.
um,
Yeah.
like yeah, how they can cope up before that if they head into this
Yeah,
transition,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
how they can make lifestyle changes so that they are easy to go ahead with it. Although these hormonal changes and these mood
Okay.
fluctuations,
I
these
got
gonna
it. I got
happen.
your question. Yeah. Can I just, because, I'm so excited to answer this because
Yeah.
just in simple words, no, we all have to know
Yeah.
this. This is a very important question. Just in simple words, do you think your mom went through it so much? No. Do you think your
Mm.
grandmom went through it? So, what do you call, the severity was not this much.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
answers your question that back to basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, that just means that the lifestyle, okay, in simple terms, if you want to think it
Yeah.
in simple terms, if you're not understand, if you're not able to remember what I say in simple
Mhm.
terms, understand the food that we eat now
Yeah.
is not the
Yeah.
same. The
Yeah.
lifestyle
I
that we
like that
live
back to
now.
basics
Back,
thing.
just one word, remember that. They used to get out to do everything, but we used to get it
Yeah.
on our doorsteps
Exactly. Exactly.
delivered.
That's
We don't
what.
do
That's what.
fitness. Yeah,
Yeah.
back to
Yeah.
basis. Because of the processed food, our
Yeah. Yeah.
metabolism goes for a toss. Because of the lifestyle, our
Yeah.
cortisol increases. Okay, and
Yeah.
because of non-fitness, we put on weight, and weight gain is enough for a lot of problems to pop in.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is all simple things, but
Yeah.
we miss it out, and it can contribute. It can magnify your menopausal symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So all the
Thank
normal
you
things,
so much. Yeah.
sleeplessness, we have it even sometimes when we are stressed out. When we go
Yeah.
for a late night party, we miss it out, and alcohol, many things. But it gets magnified.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
If you
Thank you
can
so
address it, yeah,
much.
you can address it prior to it, okay?
Uh,
Before you get into the transition, especially one important things I forgot to say, that is called xenoestrogen.
mm,
Xenoestrogens are nothing but a synthetic estrogen that is not produced by the body, okay?
mhm,
And that
mm,
comes from the processed food. The more you eat processed food, the more synthetic estrogen are going to sit in the body cells, and it is 100 times powerful. Lot of problems are happening because of the estrogen dominance in the body.
yeah.
Like young women are going for heavy bleeding. Young women are having severe pain there. Young women are experiencing lot of cramps over there. Yeah,
Mm, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of things
Thank
are
you.
messing up. Yeah,
Yeah.
because of this
Thank you.
synthetic things. So you can avoid that is there in the screens, that is there in
Oh,
the plastics, that is there
yeah.
in the cutting board that we use also. It just scares me. I used to post on these things. So the debate is long for each topic. So
Yeah.
at least at the
It
moment,
indeed.
try to be as close to nature, away from processed
Uh,
food. Try to live a
okay.
lifestyle which will not increase your stress levels in simple terms,
Mm,
and try to
yeah.
incorporate some fitness for about 150 minutes in a week, okay, and which
Yeah.
is like strength training and
Mm,
resistant training. That means you should be able to carry your own body weight. That is
yeah.
when the muscles become tightened, and it will not impact your bone when you're in menopause. Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot to say that. Yeah, the bone
Yeah.
impact is very much in menopause as well. Sorry, I can
Yeah.
keep talking for hours.
I know. Thank you so
I hope
much.
I answered
Uh,
your question.
yes. Yes. It definitely does.
Go and
I
sit
got
with your
it.
granny and ask what did they eat,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you
Definitely.
start following it.
Yeah. Anyways, anybody, any questions for Sharmila to answer?
Yeah, please just unmute and feel free.
Unmute yourself and feel free to ask any questions if
Yeah,
you
because
have.
I'm not looking at the chat. If someone can get the question from chat, it'll be good as
Yeah.
well.
There's
Today in the
no
news,
such
I
question in
heard
it.
that the government is going to look after into this menopause stage for the women, the UK government.
Oh, nice.
Oh, no. It has been the initiative is happening in the UK for the last 5 years. They
Yeah,
are
5 years, but
initiating.
today I heard in the news
Yeah,
they are
yeah.
more into that, and they allocated one lady for the department, something they were discussing.
Yeah, every university, everywhere, they are changing the whole thing to accommodate menopausal symptoms because it is severe.
Okay.
And they are also changing the whole, what do you call, the process, change management. And they are coming up with menopause policies as a part of their organization. But the government doing it is really good. I have to, yeah, I'm not following up UK much, but I know that organizations have been doing changes to accommodate the menopausal change symptoms.
Okay. Yeah, the
Okay.
government is going to do something, I think.
That's lovely to know.
Yeah.
There are already lots of initiatives in the UK. You are ahead of Indians, India. The whole world is following you on this topic.
Mhm.
It's
Okay,
because the
anybody
protein,
else have any questions?
and you have to be watch out on this, Kamalpreet, because there are a lot of premature menopause happening. Yeah, because all the lifestyle changes and other things. At least 1 in 100 is getting into premature menopause. That is, which is periods free
Oh,
before 40 years.
yeah,
Yeah. So any
okay.
any
I
other
think
question we can?
I think we don't have any questions. Maybe
Mm,
we can end the session here. Thank you all
yeah.
for joining today's session and contributing to such an open and meaningful conversation. I know menopause is often I can see that it is under discussed topic, although government is doing things, but yes, still in India it is under discussed topic, and yet it is very critical phase of life for many women. I hope today's insights have empowered you to better understand the journey and recognize the strength, in embracing this natural transition. So thank you so much,
Just
Sharmila,
one
for
word, but yeah, thank
yeah,
from
thank you
IGC.
so much for sharing your wealth of knowledge and experience with us. Your
Yeah,
insights are, your insights have truly shed light on how we can support ourselves and
yeah,
others
but
through
with
this.
I want to leave with one word of advice. Menopause, when
Yeah,
a woman is in menopause, the whole pause. Sorry to say that, because she's not living alone, right? She's going to be living with a family. She's going to be living with a putting up with her colleagues. So this education is not just only limited for the women, at least to know what's going on, in a what I call it, the broader sense. This education on menopause is very important for anybody above 18 years. That is why, and it is as good so that you can have a beautiful society and empathy and sensitivity, and we can normalize this phase. Yeah, so that women are more please help? Can you please understand? Now they're hesitant. They're still hesitant because it is a taboo. So we all have to break this taboo together. I can't do it
yeah,
alone.
yeah, yeah.
Start talking
Remember,
about it.
yeah, remember, this is pause, not the end. Basically, I,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I would say this is an opportunity for reflection, growth, and renewed strength. Once the transition finishes, we can explore our bodies more and
Everything. It's a second innings. It's a new you. You create from the scratch whatever you want. So you can look
yeah,
at it from the power of pause from all different angle.
yeah,
Yes, yeah. And many
yeah,
women have created a lot of stories, successful stories above 50. So they are all role models for us. That it is not the end. It is not the pause. It's just the pause. I say it's just a pause. You can pause to play.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, take care. Thank you. Yeah,
All right,
bye.
thank you,
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you
so
all
much.
for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.